What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chef Jazz, and I have another chef talk for you today. I know it's been a minute. That's because I've been doing more cooking, less talking, which is typically how I always prefer it. But I got a good topic. But before we even get into our chef talk, if you haven't seen any of my other chef talks, my disclaimer is all of my topics are based on my opinion. Whatever I say is basically nothing against others people's thoughts and opinions. It's just my personal experience, and other people opinions are always welcome in the comment section. I got thick skin, so if you agree, that's great. If you disagree, that's great too. But like I said, I got a good topic for you guys today, so we're about to jump right into it. All right, for this chef's talk, the topic is misconceptions of a chef. So, you always have, we all stereotype, right? I don't care what people say. We tend to stereotype people and things, not purposely, but it's just how our minds are wired, and most of the time we don't really mean any harm by it, but it's just something that we see or think on a day-to-day. So when it comes to chefs, a lot of people have these misconceptions of us, and like I said, these are some of the misconceptions that I came across, and and it's some of them are very funny actually, but let's get into it. All right, the first one is we always yelling. Like I'm a very vocal person, so like a lot of chefs are naturally vocal, but you do have some chefs that's very soft spoken. It's just when we're in that kitchen setting, is like we really can't help it. We don't, I'm not gonna say all chefs because I haven't worked with every single chef in the industry, but I've worked with a nice amount of chefs, and myself as well. But we all don't yell because we're assholes, okay, or we're just mean. We yell for, number one, most of the kitchens that we work in are loud, just because of the simple fact that we're working with loud equipment. You hear a bunch of people chopping stuff. In most kitchens you walk into, someone is the DJ, so they're playing music. So you naturally talk loud in the kitchen. But as far as like yelling, sometimes I do yell. It's not because I'm upset or anything. It's just, most chefs, we don't really like to repeat ourselves either. So one thing you won't be able to say is, I didn't hear you, because I know you did. But, and a lot of times, we're yelling like across the kitchen, or we're yelling to get the server's attention, or if it's an order up, we yell order up so the kitchen can hear, the servers can hear, things like that. Most of us, we don't yell because we're jerks. We yell so people can hear us. We're in a very loud environment. It just comes natural to us to just yell and be vocal. But like I said, some chefs are naturally vocal, like myself. I can not yell and you can still hear me very well because I am very vocal. You have a lot of chefs who aren't vocal at all. They're very soft spoken. It's almost like a switch. When it's go time, we change our tone. But when we're in a chill environment, we talk like this. But yeah, that's just one. That's the first one. The next one is we are always swearing. We're always cursing. Um, Me personally, I think regardless if I was a chef or not, I will always curse. In my opinion, I feel like when you swear, it's an expression. We don't always mean anything ill about it. Some chefs, like most chefs, is just most kitchens, depending on what kind of kitchen you in. Like for example, like most restaurant kitchens, you know, they don't really censor what kind of language you use, and because at the end of the day, regardless of how much swearing we did in the kitchen, we're still a family. Most of the times, people don't really take offense to it. Now, granted, I have had people that take offense to me saying a curse word or whatever, but it's like, and the crazy thing is, I probably curse enough to where I don't even remember that I cursed. So you can say, hey Jazz, you said such and such to me. I'm probably gonna be like, are you sure? Because I don't remember that. But that's just because it's a part of my vocabulary. And when you work in a restaurant, or not necessarily just restaurants, but certain kitchen environments, the chefs in there, they don't really censor what their team say. Because the most of the time kitchen environments are very intense. It's very fast paced. So it's like, me personally, I don't really have time to, correct someone every time they say, a curse word. Now, me, I don't allow people in my kitchen to disrespect others in that manner. That's a big no for me. But if if a cook dropped a whole plate or of something, they be like, shit, like, I'm not gonna be like, don't say that, like, because I say it too. Like, that's the worst thing. You put all that energy and time into that dish and you just you dropped it on the floor. Like, that's the worst. But yeah, it's a lot of chefs, we do curse a lot, but most of the time we really don't really mean anything by it. We just curse a lot. But anyways, the next one is, I like this one. It's difficult to cook for us. So I get this a lot. I get this from like friends, I get this from family, I get this from strangers. Excuse me. But I am here to tell you that most of us, most chefs, and this is nothing against the person that is cooking for us. Like, we're not knocking their skills, whether it's somebody we personally know that's cooking for us, or whether we go to a restaurant. But most of us, the standards we have for ourselves as chefs, and us wanting our dishes to come out perfect, we don't have that same standard when other people are cooking for us. So, a lot of people tend to like, oh, I don't want to cook for you because I don't want you to, think that my food isn't good enough. My standards are never high when someone else is cooking for me, whether it's a person that I actually know or whether I go to a restaurant. That's why a lot of times when I go to restaurants, especially when I go with other people who are not in my field, they're and the food isn't that great. It's not bad, but it's not that great. Most of the time, the people I go to restaurants with, they're probably more upset about the food not being great than I am. And that's because they went into the restaurant with so many high standards of the food. As for me, I didn't. And it's mainly because, like, I've had really outstanding great food, I've had okay food, I've had terrible food. So it's like, me personally, I really don't get my hopes up high. Now, unless I've been to that restaurant before and I know like their food is bomb, then yeah, like if I go back, I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to go back. I know their food is bomb, then that's a different story. Or if someone else is cooking for me, you know, and I know their food is bomb. Like, for example, my sister, she's not a chef, but you can't tell me she can't throw down. Like, that's, and that's just, it just really depends. But people like my sister, they not afraid to cook for me. That's why, I don't really, now some chefs, some people may have had bad experiences with chefs where, they talk shit about their food. But the worst thing that you'll probably get out of me is that I don't like it. And it's not because you didn't do a great job with it. It's just, it wasn't my cup of tea. Now, granted, I've had people's food that was very arrogant about their food, and they just knew it was so good. Like, no one can do it better than them, and I've had it and it tastes like crap. Those kind of people, they really need to humble themselves for sure. You're not the best cook out here. I've been in the industry for a long time and I'm not the best. I have my bad days, I have my good days. I have more good days than bad days, of course. But those kind of people, yeah, I'll put you on blast for sure. Like, if you make me something and you just not necessarily confident about what you made, but arrogant about it. And if that meal isn't matching your arrogantness, I don't know if that's a word, but if it's not matching it, oh, I'm definitely gonna talk about you. Like, that's given. For me, what I can say, for people who have the opportunity to cook for a chef, regardless of the environment, just be confident in what you make. Make sure you are humble, and be okay with feedback. And don't get offended if we add salt. Like, you may not think like your food needs salt, but a lot of chefs, we have a high tolerance for salt. So we may add a little bit of salt and pepper, but don't get offended by that. That's, hell, I do that with my own food sometimes. But yeah. The next one is we eat 5-star meals every day. Yeah. No, I don't. I don't even go to I don't go to a lot of fine dining 5-star restaurants. For multiple reasons, mainly because you're not going to serve me 4 ounces of meat for $150. No, I can do that at home. But a lot of people I know, my friends and some family, they really think I'd be in here like making steak and lobster every night. And to be honest, no, I don't cook every night. I'll probably cook like maybe like at home, probably cook like maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times if I'm feeling myself. But I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I rather just fix a bowl of cereal. Like I don't really yeah, I don't always want to eat like that. Like that's heavy food. Like and I'm not really big on eating heavy because it really just makes me sluggish and makes me want to just go to sleep. So I don't really eat heavy. And when I do cook like nice meals, granted it's nice meals, but sometimes I may just I may just make a gourmet grilled cheese sandwich. Like it's just, but we don't eat 5-star meals every day. Me personally, I can't afford to eat a 5-star meal every day. I don't get paid enough to eat a 5-star meal every day. And in all honesty, like, if you personally know me, you know my materialistic love language. And I would rather take that $150 that I would spend at a fine dine 5-star restaurant and go buy a pair of shoes. And that's a fact. And then after I go buy that pair of shoes, I will come home and fix me a sandwich before I spend $150 on one meal, on one plate at that. That's not even including the drinks, because we can't go to restaurants without ordering some kind of drink. At least I can't. I gotta order me some kind of cocktail or something. So that's not even including the drink, the appetizer. I never order dessert at restaurants. If I do, I take it to go. But yeah, I'm not about to spend $150 on a plate multiple times a week, man. You know what I can do with that? Come on now. So get that out y'all head. That's not true. The next one is we know how to cook every kind of cuisine. And not true. I don't even like every cuisine. Some cuisines just don't they don't do anything for me. Like I'm not interested in it. Now, granted, if the situation comes where I need, like if I have a customer or a client, or if I'm doing like some sort of themed dinner now of a particular cuisine, oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely do it. I'm gonna do it right. But as far as like studying cuisines, no, I don't. Like for me to just especially when I'm at home, for me to just randomly cook like a particular kind of cuisine, like it has to be a dish that I really, really love. Like love, and and I don't really have too many of those. So I do not know how to cook every kind of cuisine, but I will say that I am capable of cooking any kind of cuisine, if that makes sense. And the last one is we know everything because we went to culinary school. No. In all honesty, if you haven't gone to culinary school, let me tell you right now, culinary school do not teach you everything you need to know for the industry. Like culinary teaches the basics, which is very important. Granted, it's very important. I carry those basics with me all the way up until this day. But culinary school is just not enough time to teach you everything you need to know about the industry. And most lessons learned in the food industry is through experience. You're going to come across so many different experiences where you're going to learn from those experiences every time. You're going to learn different ways to handle those experiences. Those experiences also they also come in different forms. So it's culinary school definitely teach you the basics, and the basics will stick with you throughout your entire career. But also some of the things that you learn in culinary school, like most of the time, culinary school, they all typically have the same curriculum. And in that curriculum, they're instructors are going to teach you a specific way how to do a specific thing, right? So while you're in culinary school, you're going to, as a young buck, you're going to have tunnel vision to the point where you're going to believe that that is the only way you can complete that task. And it's going to take you to actually work in the industry, work with other culinary professionals, to realize that that one way you learned how to do this in culinary school is probably about 5 other ways to do it. Like for me, like I can know how to do something. Oh, I saw something outside the window. Sorry. But anyways, I learned how to, I don't know, I can't really think of anything right now, but if I learned how to do something, 2 ways, and then I'm working with a cook that probably learned how to do that same thing differently, I'm okay with them doing it the way that they are comfortable with doing it. Me as a chef, I'm all about getting the same results. I can do it my way, they can do it their way. As long as we get the same results, that's all that matters. And as long as your way isn't going to hurt the operation, hurt the flow of the business, as long as it's not going to hurt others, if it's, as long as it's safe and it's sanitary, have at it. I may be able to learn something from you. But as people out there, there are culinary professionals, and they will tell you that they went to culinary school and you would never know, because they've experienced so much in their career to where like they were able to find different ways to accomplish certain things in the kitchen. And you probably like, oh, well, I learned how to do that this way in culinary school. And they probably did go to culinary school, and it was like, yeah, that's how I learned too. But I learned from the chef that I work with how to do it this way, and I feel like it is easier and more efficient. Yeah, I'm cool with I think that's great. And it's just culinary school, you just don't have enough time to learn all these different tricks and things. And that's why when you're going through your career in the food industry, that's why experience is so important. A lot of times it's more important than your education, because a lot of chefs who have been in the industry for a long time, and they've been doing this, before you were even born probably. They look at where you worked, the experiences that you've had, it's nice that you went to this school, but you graduated from culinary school 10 years ago. What you learned in culinary 10 years ago, we are way more advanced now. So that's why, a lot of us typically, when we're hiring people, we typically look at where they've worked, what level of experience do they have, not necessarily what school they went to, because, you can't learn everything in culinary school. But that is it for the misconceptions of a chef. I think this was great. This was a good topic. But I'm going to try to be more consistent with the chef talks. It takes a lot of time to actually sit down and do them. I'd rather just cook. But, whatever. Hope you enjoyed this video, this conversation. And I will catch you in the next one. Until next time, guys. Peace out.